Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. This video is for Mr. Xavier Smalls, and here on the TikTok, Mr. Xavier Wavy. Um, Brother, let me first just say, because I just did a whole 10-minute video, and the moment I came out of the app to find your handle for TikTok, and it came back in, the whole video was gone. So I figured maybe the Lord was a little displeased, even with the unflammatory, mind you, unflammatory language that I used. I feel as though that was the Lord giving me an opportunity to make concise what it is that I felt as though I wanted to take the liberty to say, and I want to invite you in the future and also in the prison to do the same thing. Clock it. The video that is causing so much controversy, young man, is from 2024. This is now 2026, right? Right. I don't harbor any ill will, nor any malice, nor really too much of my time on your existence. Not because you are not a talented person, but because I don't know you. I don't really take the time to have much to say to you because I don't know you. I'm a man of God. I'm a man of faith. I'm a product of a praying mother and a praying grandmother and a praying father and a praying grandfather, and of an ancestral lineage that comes from Eden, that comes from Africa, that comes from many places around the world where the Lord really decided to show off in his creation, that he decided to show off in his forgiveness, that he decided to show up and show out for just because he could. Young man, I invite you to do the same thing with your language. I invite you to do the same thing with your time. I invite you to do the same thing, or at least similar, if you cannot imitate it, with your time. We're not going to get into this very long, but the list that you felt qualified to speak on, you said people who live in sin. You also quantified that list by determining that included atheists, cursers, people who curse the Lord and have the audacity, like you did, to talk about his creation. When you talked about this list of people, clock it. Drunks and alcoholics, LGBTQIA people, queer people. I'm paraphrasing right there because you didn't really do the lettering. Scoffers, liars, and murderers. That's Xavier. That's a heavy list, brother. That's a heavy list of people. That's a heavy list of experiences. That's a heavy list of things and experiences and trifles in life. That's a heavy list of substances. That's a heavy, heavy list. And I would just like to know who ordained you. Even just as a person on the social media, who ordained you as a person of the cloth? Who ordained you as a follower of Christ to speak on these people and refer to them as an abomination? I charge you with going back to the source and trying it for yourself. I charge you to try to live a life without a predetermined or verbally associated higher power. I charge you to be someone who's gone through something so hard or is ignorantly upon the earth and feels they have the audacity to talk about God or to tell God about himself or to have something derogatory to say against the Lord because they feel their life is too hard or just because they're in active ignorance. I charge you to try that for yourself and see how you feel. I charge you to be someone capable of picking up an alcoholic drink and unable to put it back down. Someone has to come and take it from you. I charge you to try living that way. I charge you to be someone that is born or steps or walks into, by choice or by birth, into their queerness and have a whole world, it seems, against you just for whom you choose to love behind closed doors. I charge you to do that, and not for a paycheck but for life. I charge you to be someone that I don't know what scoffing is, so we're gonna move on past it and see how I can do that, because I don't know about what it is that that's on the list, but I don't speak on it, and I'm not making a reference to how God feels about it because I ain't went to God first. Let me let me mind my tone. I charge you to be, baby, people lie all the time. That doesn't make it okay. It doesn't. But please, brother, don't be so bold, even in your ignorance from 2 years ago to your ignorance now. Please do not be so emboldened by other men's interpretations of the words and the rhetoric of God to be so foolish as to tell God about himself through the lens of telling whom he created that he does not fuck with them. Don't do that. Because that's what you said. That's the spirit of what it is that you said in those comments. Now, I'll go on the record and I will admit up front, I'm only pulling from the list. I'm not pulling from the grand scope of the video. And that's where some of us might get it messed up. But notice that all of what it is that I said, I'm speaking to specifically something ignorant that was spoken. I didn't say dumb, I didn't say stupid, I said ignorant, meaning without the knowledge of the experience of the specifics of what you spoke. Please do not talk on or talk about people that you do not live as, young man. Sex workers. Don't talk about people you do not live as. You play a character, young man. If that's the way that you want to feel about all these different types of people, and I'm not going to touch on murderers, because we all feel the way that we all feel about whatever it is that we feel, and it's always to each his own and to the specific scenario that is involved upon the desk of judgment. But the only one who has the real say and the final say over all of this is God. Because when we think about murder, when we think about liars, when we think about drunks and alcoholics and people who curse, people who don't believe, there's a certain way to define these different ways of living and existing and being. So we have to practice being careful and how it is that we associate God with different things that are of the world. When God came down, stopped off in a little town called Bethlehem, wrapped himself up in human flesh to come and live only 39 years amongst the world that he created a long time before that, when he just stopped off to really see what was going on, to really get the tea. This list of people and of categorizations of life that you listed are amongst the people. Not the only people, but they're amongst the people that he went to first and primarily beyond moral reason. The walking word himself associated with people that were sex workers, with people that, Peter alone, bro. Now it feels like I'm getting on the horse, so I'm going to get off of it. But please just be careful how you speak about people, and not because of how they're going to feel about it, but because of how God is going to feel about you talking about whom he created. Young man, Mr. Smalls, how dare you have the audacity to call people that God created an abomination and tell those people, oh, he loves you, but you can't live with him. This is not a court case for child support. This is not a court case for parental rights. Who are you to tell anybody that God, oh, he might love you, but you can't kick it with him? You have no idea. So please, mind your business and keep up with the